This next story was also written in the Sexy Space Babes by Bluefish Cake universe, link below. Hope this gets better views than Doom Guy. It's called Chaos and Mayhem, written by Lord Henry 7878. Welcome back viewers, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries and anyone with ears or other sound detection organs. Hope you enjoy. We are starting with Chaos and Mayhem, written by Lord Henry 7878. There is a link to the playlist in the doobly-doo. Chaos and Mayhem Part 1. The Stoned Elephant wasn't just the most popular bar in Grimsville, Maryland. It was the only bar in Grimsville, Maryland. It was little wonder, then, that it was the preferred hangout of old people, young people, and everybody in between. I'd gotten off work, finally, and, well, the Stoned Elephant was the only place to go on a Friday night. I love this song, some guy yelled as I parked my car. That guy must have been really hollering. I could hear him across 2 lanes of cars. Whatever. This was a bar, not a church. He could be loud if he wanted. I went inside and got my beer. Like all the best bars, the air was choked with the smell of cigarettes and booze. I saw the college kids whipping it up with their jigger, and the old guys in the corner playing cards as the speaker over their head played tinny Motorhead. And then I saw him.
Uncle Bill?
I scooted closer.
Uncle Bill.
I couldn't believe this. William B. J. Judd was back. The old Batus looked over at me, and instantly a smile crawled across his face.
Tom.
He yelled.
How are you? Still in college?
Nah.
I shook my head.
Grad school now. Gonna be a preschool teacher.
Aw, that's great, man.
Okay, let me explain real quick. Uncle Bill wasn't actually my uncle. He was a friend of my parents and resident capital C capital O capital G cool old guy around here. He'd gone off to Vietnam back in the 70s and then never really left the army. He'd fought his way through Vietnam, Panama, Grenada, Iraq, Afghanistan, and God knew where else. Just some old Batus who'd found a home.
I thought you were still in Afghanistan.
Uncle Bill shook his head.
Nah, they decided 70 was officially too old for that.
The silence got a little awkward after that, so I changed the subject.
Hear about all those things astronomers found? Like, they just appeared out beyond Pluto's orbit. Just, fucking, they were there one day.
The astronomical community had been having a field day with them, mostly because they seemed to be slowing down. I took a sip of my beer and waved one of the waitresses over.
Put whatever he's having on my tab.
Hey, thanks kid. Yeah, I saw that. I think they are spaceships.
He took a drink of his own beer.
Ominous, right?
Soon as he said that, the lights went dark. The music was immediately replaced with groans and shouts of surprise.
The fuck?
I looked outside.
Don't see any streetlights, none of the storefronts either. Looks like the whole town's out. Give me a moment, I'll text Mom, see if it's out in Darby'sburg too.
I pulled out my phone and tapped out a message. I hit send and...
Damn it. No reception.
This was bad.
Well shit.
Uncle Bill finished his beer.
You probably shouldn't be driving if there's no street lights and you've been drinking. Want to crash at my place? We can come get your car first thing in the morning.
Oh man, I hadn't done that since I was a kid. And it wasn't like I had any more chance of getting laid tonight, or really anything else, so why not?
Sure.
So we paid for our beers and went outside.
You see that?
Uncle Bill pointed at the night sky. I couldn't see much. There were so many stars in the sky now I couldn't see what he was pointing at. Then it hit me. Some of the stars were moving incredibly fast.
Too fast to be an iridium flare.
I muttered.
Or space junk.
An iridium what?
Uncle Bill looked over at me.
You're the space geek, not me?
Sometimes when satellites are in just the right orbit, the sunlight reflects off them, and on Earth it gets brighter and brighter as they get higher in the sky. Except these aren't changing in their brightness, and they're moving too fast to be satellites.
Weird.
Uncle Bill unlocked his truck and got in the driver's seat. I got in the other side as he let the engine warm up.
All right, kiddo. Ready to hit the road?
Yup.
Even though it was dark, I nodded. We drove back to Uncle Bill's place in silence. Not out of a lack of things to chat about or anything, weird shit was going on all over the place, it seemed. Out of curiosity, I tried the radio. It was just static, of course. The Jackson, Jones, and Schreiber show would have to wait, I guess.
Whatever's going on, it hit everything.
I looked back up at the stars dancing in the night sky.
Yeah, that's what scares me.
The gravel driveway crunched and clattered as Uncle Bill pulled up and stopped the truck.
What scares you?
I got out of the truck and stretched, even though I hadn't been in the cobalt blue truck for long.
Well, if I were going to invade a place, first thing I'd do is cut all communications. That way the natives, that's us in this scenario, that way we can't organize against the invaders for shit. Let me get you a blanket.
What, you think like aliens are gonna invade?
Nothing so drastic.
Uncle Bill got out of the truck.
Just a thought.
And with that sobering thought, Uncle Bill and I went inside. He rummaged in a closet while I dropped my wallet and keys on the table. After a while, Bill came back with the old plaid woolen blanket I'd slept under 1,000 times. When I was a kid, that thing had seemed huge. Oh, what the hell, the blanket was still enormous. He draped it over the sofa like a tent.
Hey Uncle Bill.
I slid myself underneath the blanket. My oldest friend stopped on the way out of the living room.
What's up?
I'm glad you're home.
Me too, kid.
Uncle Bill turned to get going again, and I was asleep before he left the room. I woke up the next morning to Uncle Bill shaking me.
What's going on?
I mumbled blearily. I wasn't hungover, I'd only had one beer, just sleepy.
I'm up. I'm up.
Power's back on, but things are bad. Come on, I got the radio working.
All I heard was the buzzing of the emergency alert system. I patiently waited for it to conclude with, "This has been a test of the emergency alert system." Instead, it began listing off counties. Allegheny County, Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County, Calvert County. This wasn't good. The radio was listing off literally every county in Maryland. Queen Anne's County, St. Mary's County, Sturgis County. Shit. We were in Sturgis County. I held my breath as the radio finished listing the counties. Are under a state of emergency. All residents of the state of Maryland are encouraged to stay in their homes until further notice.
Wait, what's going on? If it's not about the power.
I'll admit, I was starting to panic a little.
Shush.
Uncle Bill flipped through all the channels, listening for any hint of what was going on. Most of them were just playing the emergency alert over and over again. 98 Rock, Jack FM, and 100.7 The Bay were all doing their civic duty with the alert. Then we found it. A station that was informing us what was going on.
Ah.
Uncle Bill muttered. Good old Bull. Are no longer under control of the United States.
Holy fuck.
I had never known Uncle Bill to swear about anything beyond a quick damn or hell, so this must have been pretty bad. For those of you just tuning in, large sections of the eastern seaboard are no longer under United States jurisdiction. The Shilvati Empire. The radio buzzed and the static became too intense to hear anything.
What's a Shilvati?
I don't know why, but I was imagining Al-Qaeda or the Soviet Union or North Korea or something.
Hell if I know. But we need to get the hell out of Dodge.
Wait, didn't the radio say to stay inside? I mean dash.
Kid, When a foreign army is invading, a populated area is the last place you want to be?
I didn't know if that was true, but I trusted Uncle Bill. Seemed like he'd be the one to know what to do.
Go to the garage and grab the guns from the safe. Code's 9338. There's a duffel bag right by it. Grab the ammunition too.
I ran out the door and into the garage. The gun safe stood there, looking for all the world like a refrigerator. And the keypad was right there, nice.
9338.
I muttered as I entered the numbers. The safe opened with a clunk, and I swung the door aside. Now, I knew nothing about guns. All I knew about these ones was that one was a shotgun, and the other fired big fucking bullets. I'd fired them both on multiple occasions, and they both nearly knocked me over. I emptied the contents of the safe into the bag. Both guns, and all the boxes of ammo I could fit. When the bag was full, I ran back inside. Uncle Bill had a backpack on.
Great. Let's get going.
I followed him back out and got back in the truck.
Any idea where we're going?
Yeah.
Uncle Bill started the truck.
Into the woods.
He turned back out the gravel driveway and onto the road. I turned back on Tubal to see if there was any more information. Alien invasion?
Holy fuck.
I whispered. Well, technically someone on the radio said, it's not an invasion per se. That happened last night, and from what we hear, everything east of the Mississippi River fell in hours. Now we're under occupation. You may have noticed they've restored the power and limited communications in some areas. The radio faded out again, and I noticed something in front of us.
Shit. Cops.
Don't look like no cops I've ever seen.
But Uncle Bill stopped the truck all the same. It looked more like a military checkpoint than anything. But those soldiers looked like no soldiers I'd ever seen, even in movies. The ones walking towards us looked more like bikers or something. They wore black combat armor and what appeared to be smooth black motorcycle helmets. And tall. If I had to guess, 7 feet or so. Oddly alien, yet at the same time, frighteningly familiar. One stood back, pointing its weapon through the windshield at us. The other came around to the driver's side window. I couldn't tell what it was saying, I was more caught up on the fact that she sounded like a woman. Actually, come to think of it, these black uniforms looked surprisingly curvy. She said it again, but firmer, and with her hand rested on the gun hanging at her hip.
You have any idea what she's saying?
Uncle Bill asked. I shrugged.
Not a clue.
I don't know what you're saying.
Uncle Bill yelled at the alien. That only seemed to piss her off. She stepped back and grabbed the gun, but that seemed to be what Uncle Bill was waiting for. Quick as a frog on a stove, he grabbed her arm, yanking it into the cab and rolling up the window.
Get the gun.
He wrestled with the arm lodged in the window. I, in the meantime, yanked the gun free from her hand as Uncle Bill shifted gears and started doing donuts. As the truck spun in circles with Shilvati soldier trapped in the window by her arm, I could hear her screaming something. If I had to guess, it was a prayer or a plea for help from her teammates. Once the shooting started, Uncle Bill shoved me under the dash before ducking down and throwing the truck into reverse. He slammed on the gas, sending us barreling backwards down, and eventually off the road. Without a second thought, he yanked the wheel and slammed on the brakes, spinning the truck around and throwing the alien free. As the truck spun, he shifted into drive, and once the truck was done spinning, Uncle Bill just drove off.
Oh shit, they're chasing us.
In the rear-view mirror, I could see what looked like a squat, 8-wheeled crab chasing us through the woods.
Yeah, I see.
End of chapter. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss any episode and do all the other YouTube stuff, visit and support the author, all the relevant links are in the doobly-doo, and comment your opinions, good or bad. And I'll see you next time. And as usual, have a wonderful day.